So welcome back, friends. My name is Megan from A Seasonal Abode. I garden here in Zone 6A, Southern Ontario, Canada. And today I thought it would be fun to share a process with you, something that I like to do in the winter months when you can't garden outside and you really just want to think about gardens and spring and getting your hands in the dirt. And that is garden designing. So last summer I decided I was going to add on to my sunrise garden, which is on the east side of our house. And I did take you along in October. I'm going to link that video above, in which I started planting some of the things I'm going to discuss in this video. So I will link that video up above. But today I'm just going to kind of go over my design process or how I create or add on to a garden space. So last summer I took my drone up. I always find that that is the best way to get an idea of the lay of the land, especially when you open it up on a computer. And I took a still image of what the garden looked like with the addition of some cardboard on the ground, because I am planning on creating that garden with the no-dig method. So I'm just going to jump in and talk about my design process here. So I wanted to start with an anchor piece, something that would provide some year-round interest, and I chose the Weeping Nootka Cyprus. Now it is a small specimen right now, but eventually it will grow to 25 feet tall by 12 feet wide, and is a very slow growing tree. So I'm not super worried about spacing right now. I am factoring in spacing for all the other plantings except for this one because it is so slow growing. Now this tree has a bit of a gray blue foliage to it year round, and I think that is going to really stabilize the bed. It has some drapey, droopy branches, which is really fun element to the garden. And then from there, from that anchor piece, I decided to form a triangle. The second point of the triangle is made with the Kodiak Black Diervilla. Now this is a perennial shrub that is native here in Canada, and it gets 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. It is deer resistant, and the reason I chose it mostly because of its foliage. It has a red-purple foliage, and that looks really beautiful in the autumn months. And it's going to contrast very nicely with the blue of the cypress. Moving on from there to the last point of the triangle, I chose the Winecraft Gold Smoke Bush, which is a proven winner's variety. It can get 4 to 6 feet tall and wide. I am anticipating it getting the 6 feet tall. They really like living conditions around here, so I am anticipating having to cut it back once a year just by reason of upkeep. In the summer, it does get those smoky pinky plumes, which are really beautiful. But the reason I planted this is mostly because of the foliage color. It has some beautiful chartreuse leaves, and I think with the dark purple of the Diervilla and the blue of the cypress, this chartreuse green, that trio is just going to look amazing. So then, because my garden space is not super large, I decided to start working along the border of the new area. So along the one side of the edge of the garden, I'm going to go ahead and plant 3 Firelight Tidbit hydrangeas. Now these are the smallest of the panicle hydrangeas. They get 2 to 3 feet tall and wide. They are panicle, so they emerge with a white panicle, and then as the blooms age, they turn the pink red hue closer towards autumn. I really love hydrangeas, and I wanted to see how many I could fit into this garden space. I have a quick fire and a firelight on the area that I am attaching this new addition to, and so it may turn into a hydrangea garden. We will have to see. Then I am filling in the spaces along the edge with some Walker's Low catmint or Nepeta. Walker's Low is a continuous blooming perennial. It can go on for 5 months straight. I do plan on cutting it back at least once or twice just to encourage new growth of blooms. The honeybees, the pollinators love this perennial. It is definitely a go-to for me. I think it is so beautiful to see the drifts of the Nepeta growing. So I'm going to plop that in anywhere there is a space so that it draws your eye along the garden. So it helps your eye draw along through the bed. And it's a place to rest. It's a little bit of a cooler color, the purpley blue of the flowers. And then lastly, on the edge of the bed, on the other side, I'm going to be planting a trio of winter gem boxwoods. And winter gems are an easy go-to boxwood. I was a little hesitant in deciding to go with the boxwood just because of the diseases and the box moth that is affecting the boxwoods here. I haven't had a super big problem. I have been making sure that I spray routinely with the BTK. And so I'm going to be adding in the winter gem. I love boxwood hedges, English gardens, and I'm going for more of a modern cottage feel in my garden area. And so I am excited to add those to the garden. I did look into alternatives, holly, for example, and I found that they were quite expensive. So I am going to start with boxwood as it is the most affordable for me. And I do really, really love the look of it. And I will just have to make sure that I baby those plants. Anyways, that is my plan for the sunrise garden for this coming season. I'd love it if you come along as I add these plantings into this garden in the coming months. I hope that you find this video helpful for garden design. I like to think of the garden in all 4 seasons and play off the colors and the textures and that sort of thing. So I hope you found this video helpful, friends, and I will see you in the next video.